Hey there, Ralph Velasco of the Continental Drifter, where I share simple but powerful tips designed to make your travels easier and more interesting and your photography even better. I'm here at the farm of a gentleman named Germán, and he's got the most amazing property that is really interesting. We're learning about all these different plants, especially the cacao that he grows here and processes. Super interesting, and I can't wait for you to watch this video. We begin our visit to Rancho Raices with a greeting from Germán, who along with his wife and family run this beautiful property.
Welcome guys, bienvenidos.
Chocolate. Chocolate.
Más chocolate. ¿Cuántos perros tiene?
Dos.
Hay dos. ¿Se pueden comer chocolate o no?
No.
As you can imagine, it's difficult these days to run a property based solely on agriculture, and so many people are adding tourism to the mix. This is a great way to introduce travelers to the amazing things to see and do in this area. Germán, who only speaks Spanish, walks us around his property and along the way points out the beautiful plants, insects, and animals that we encounter. So many of the plants have really interesting properties we'd never otherwise know about, and our local guide is glad to translate and add any additional information to what Germán is teaching us. Germán's farm is full of hundreds of cacao trees, which are really incredible. The cacao pods can be found all up and down the tree trunk and branches, and they're almost always in various stages of growth. Germán takes out his ever-present machete and cuts off a plump yellow pod and gives it to Jose, who lets us have a sniff, and then he cuts open the pod to reveal what's inside, which wasn't at all what we'd expected. The pod is full of a number of seeds and beans that are encased in a slimy but tasty outer membrane, which he has us try. Although the cacao bean is inside, it doesn't taste anything like chocolate at this point, and won't until it's further processed. Shampoo ginger is one of my favorite plants. It's like a natural water tower as it holds in water from the periodic rains in its many tiny cavities to use later throughout the day. It's truly incredible how much each flower can hold. Tiny water canals run throughout the property, and Germán has built several beautiful handmade bridges to span them. Jesus Christ lizards are so called because they can actually run across water for short distances. Every plant and animal in the forest seems to have some sort of defense mechanism. This wooden staircase was recently constructed around this amazing tree, but it's not actually attached to the tree in order to protect it. On this farm is this tree that they estimate is about 300 years old. There actually used to be a hole right here, but the owner of the farm wanted to save the tree, and he used a medication equivalent for athlete's feet. And that was a fungus in there, and it actually cured the tree in about 3 years, pretty quickly. But what's interesting is that trees here do not have rings. So there's no season like there is in other parts of the world, and that would create rings on the tree, but this one does not have that. So even if it fell down and they wanted to really get an idea for how old it is, they really couldn't. But what an amazing story, and I can't believe that in just 3 years, this hole that you see here, they used to have cows walk through it, people. Ah, sí, gracias. Fresh coconut. Oh, jeez. Doesn't get any fresher than this, I'll tell you that. Got natural bamboo straw, very refreshing. It's pretty warm here, very hot and humid. The electrolytes from this coconut are just absolutely what I needed. A little bit loud. Perfecto. Good stuff?
No. Yeah, I got a little touch, like a husk, or what do you call it? Not touch.
Nice, John. It's recording.
Okay, here we go. We're playing the Costa Rican. This is for the national champion. This is for all the marbles. Lefty, see if I can make it. Oh yeah, nothing but net. Germán loves to show us the many interesting properties of the plants on his farm, and the leaves from the teak tree are extra special. It's good to know the fake blood easily washes off with water. Germán just loves to have fun with his guests. The cacao beans are dried for several days in a plastic-covered shelter. It's at this point that they begin to taste a little bit chocolatey. We end our walk at a beautiful outdoor structure that Germán has made for his guests. It's decorated in gorgeous displays of fruit and other native plants, as well as age-old tools, pottery, and other interesting items we all enjoyed looking at. There's also an open-air kitchen that Germán's wife, Rosie, and his daughter, Glenda, take charge of in order to make a great lunch that is included in our visit. While we wait for our lunch to be prepared, Germán's son, Josue, demonstrates how the chocolate beans are painstakingly ground to separate the meaty inside from the hard outer shell. Next, in between cooking, Rosie shows us how the ground shells are separated from the beans by sifting them on a flat wooden platter, after which each of us has a turn at grinding the beans by hand, which had to be done 3 times.
And we're watching the process of what it takes to go from the fruit to the point where you can actually consume it. And I wish you could smell it. It's so good.
At this point, the result is 100% chocolate and tastes great, but the smell of the ground beans that fills the air is actually even better. Some of our people, and even Jose, gave themselves a chocolate mask, which is supposed to be really good for exfoliating the skin, but I'm not sure that I would give this a try with a Snickers bar. While we waited for lunch to be prepared, we got an unexpected visit from a troop of squirrel monkeys who were happy to provide some entertainment. Seeing this process from cacao bean pod to finished product gave us all a real appreciation for the incredible amount of time and effort that goes into making chocolate by hand, and for why it can be so expensive. After a hearty lunch of the most amazing chicken, rice, and other local products, it started to pour, which it often does in the afternoon. It's nothing at all to worry about, as it doesn't last long, but unfortunately our umbrellas and raincoats were nice and dry. back in the van, just a few hundred meters away. Not to worry though, Germán cut down some large leaves for us and we each got our very own Costa Rican umbrella. This was such a great visit. Germán and his family really provide a wonderful experience, introducing us to so many plants and animals we probably wouldn't have otherwise seen. If you enjoy getting incredibly close to wildlife in its natural habitat, along with wide open spaces, expansive and empty beaches, friendly people, great food and more, then you need to visit the Osa Peninsula. Click the link in the description for more information on my Costa Rica Explorer Tour if you'd like to go with me. I'd like to pick up a free copy of my 47-page Wildlife Photography Tips ebook to help you prepare for travel and photography in Costa Rica, then simply follow the link in the description below. And remember, drifters, life's too short not to travel.